Hello, Stephen White, SteveArts89. Well, I think everyone's seen the end of Star Trek Discovery Season 3. We saw Michael Burnham finally, inevitably, take command of the Discovery. We knew this was going to happen. This was the plan. I don't understand why they didn't just start the show with her being the captain and just have it show about her being captain. It seems strange to me to take 3 years to get to this point and not just do it. There is some talk that the show has been cancelled and that was actually the ending of the series and that it was reshoots. That's still rumour, we don't know. There is talk that the show is actually in production already, but who knows. People are saying it's cancelled, other people are saying they've been saying that for the last 3 years, which they have. So who knows. But I was kind of struck by how much attention it got that she was taking command of the ship. A lot of people are acting like this is the first black actress or black character to command a starship in Star Trek, and it's not. The first black woman to ever be a captain on Star Trek was in 1986, Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Madge Sinclair, who played Captain Margaret Alexander, she wasn't named in the film, but she was named in the novelisation, was the first black female captain in Star Trek, and that was chronologically well before Michael. So far as the production, it was, 25 years? What is it? 86, 96, 2006, 35 years. It's a long time. And nobody cared at the time. No one thought twice about it. I mean, it wasn't until this issue came up that I even thought about it and thought, oh yeah, she was black. She was just the captain of the Saratoga. Nobody cared. And then the next year, in the first year of Star Trek Next Generation, we had Ursuline Bryant, who played Captain Trier Scott, who was one of the youngest captains in Starfleet at the time. This was 2364, the first year of Next Gen, and she was a captain in Starfleet. So that's two in 86 and 87 black female commanders in both the original era, movie era, and the Next Generation era. And even though Discovery started before the original series, technically, like 10 years before that, she didn't become captain until they'd moved into the future in, 31, whatever the year is. I meant to write down the year of Discovery, but it's the 32nd century, I think. Either way, it's a long, long time after the incident with the whales in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home and the Next Generation era. It's like hundreds and hundreds of years. So chronologically, she was not the first captain, either in the fictional universe or the real production of Star Trek. And let's just talk about other captains. One of the first ones that gets... Some people want to reference this, and I'm like, okay. Janice Lester, who possessed Captain Kirk's body, because she famously, delusionally, in her mentally ill status, claimed that there couldn't be female captains in Star Trek, that they weren't allowed. Now, that was not validated by anyone or anything. That was just, she stated it and it was in her mind. So I never took that literally. I thought she was just crazy. But some people, unfortunately, take that literally to mean that she was saying that there were no captains in Starfleet and they didn't allow it. And some people have even taken up stories from that point and tried to explain that as some sort of political issue with another race in the Federation that didn't like women and they had to negotiate with them. So they asked the female captains that did exist at that point to step down so these, people weren't triggered, which was wrong, blah, blah, blah. So there's those sort of stories that exist. But some people want... Because technically she did captain the Enterprise in Kirk's body. And I'm like, I don't think that counts. She stole it and it wasn't official. Now, Uhura is another one. Now, she was black, she was female. She helmed the ship several times in The Man Trap, The Naked Time, Balance of Terror, Galileo 7, Whom Gods Destroy. She should have commanded the ship in Cat's Paw, but DeSalle took command. There are a few times where she should have been the next in command, but there are other officers in that episode who were higher in rank than her. Now, some people suggest they were created, because they were afraid to have a black captain. Other times they were just part of the story. So she didn't actually take command until the Lorelei signal in the animated series, where Nichelle Nichols voiced the character. And some people say that's not canon, other people say it is. It was, and then Gene said it wasn't, but a lot of people don't take that seriously because apparently Paramount said it was canon and they were the license holders, and people say the license holders are correct over the creators. Other people say it's the creators, other people say it's just the canon of the show. You can't change it and swap it around later. It's all a big debate, but that was the first episode where she took command on, I think it was the first episode, she took command on a away mission. But in the episode Bem, she took command of the ship, literally on the bridge. So she was technically the first black captain on Star Trek, but she was acting captain. She wasn't promoted to the position. She didn't have her own ship or anything, and it was animated. So it gets a notation. It's worthy of mention. But the first real black woman who was in the captain's position was Captain Margaret Alexander, played by Madge Sinclair in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, which originally was released in the cinema in 1986 and then on video and that in 1987. So all these people talking about Captain Michael Burnham being the first female captain, if they go on to do a series, because she's only appeared in one episode as a captain, if they go on to do a fourth season, then she will be the first first black female to be the lead character on a Star Trek show. She's not the first black commander, that was Sisko. She's not the first female captain, that was Captain Janeway, but she would technically be the first black female captain. So that will be of note if they do a fourth season, and they are saying they're going to do a fourth season. They haven't filmed it yet, and people are saying it's been cancelled, that they reshot the end to be the series finale, so the season finale, and that's why she finally gets command. Because my understanding was the end of the series was going to be her getting command. The whole point of the series was that it was going to be seeing Starfleet and the crew structure from the point of view of someone who isn't the captain. And that was going to be Michael Burnham, which I think is the flaw of the series because it takes away from the ensemble unity sort of idea of the Starfleet family and the all the crew having their own things to contribute, which the problems are only resolved because all these people get together and all their different qualities and strengths come together to actually work together as a team and solve the problem, as opposed to one hero just saving everything, which is sort of what they did in that series. But my understanding was the plan was she was going to be that character until the end of the series, and the series would end with her getting command. So the fact that she's gotten command now does feel like it's the end of the series. But Midnight's Edge has done that, their third annual video saying, Discovery's cancelled. I just made a joke about that because they're saying, we're just saying it for the first time now. And I'm like, no, you've said it every year. You've kind of said, it's just we can't prove it, but it's going to happen. So believe us, we're telling the truth, but we can't prove it because we can't confirm it externally or whatever. So take it as a rumor, just so we don't get in trouble later if it turns out not to be true. We can say, we just said it was a rumor, and they did that every year. And now they're saying again, but this time it's real. So as much as I'm not a fan of Discovery, I'm not pretending to be, I want to be a critic of the show, not just a hater who just hates it for the sake of it. If there's a problem, I want to be able to talk about it and not be accused of being racist or sexist or homophobic, because that seems to be what happens if you have an issue with the show. People jump on that, put that card on you, put that slander on you, so then your criticism doesn't get listened to, even if it's valid. So I really think that's just poor sportsmanship. I think the show should be open for criticism and fans should be allowed to criticise the show without being attacked. But so this is my criticism of the show right now, that they're acting like this is the first time there's ever been a black female captain, and it's not. Actually commanding the series, it would be if that happens next year. just appearing in one episode to take the command at the end of the episode is not a huge achievement, because we've already seen black captains before. Like I said, if they actually go on, and I don't understand, it's almost like they're afraid to do it themselves. And I'm like, how is that progressive? Why didn't you just make her a captain in the first place? I know you had an Asian captain, but then she was killed in like the second episode. And then Michael Burnham was a prisoner and a mutineer and science officer. Then she went up to first officer, but then she got knocked down because she again was disobeying orders and not showing the best qualities for command. So there's a lot of issues, a lot of criticism, and I just wanted to point this out for Star Trek Discovery fans who are just watching Discovery and perhaps don't know the history of Star Trek, on screen and off screen, production and the fictional world and the characters. I just really want to let you know that she's not the first captain. Doesn't take away from the fact she is a captain on a starship and will probably be the captain in the next season, but she just wasn't the first, and we shouldn't take away from Nichelle Nichols and Madge Sinclair and Celine Bryant and all the other black female actresses who have played commanders or captains on Star Trek ships and Starfleet ships on Star Trek episodes. That's just all I wanted to say. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. And I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.